Coming up, CM Punk snubbed on WWE Raw, Matt Hardy teases he's done with WWE, and Kane is scheduled for the Royal Rumble, along with all the big takeaways from last night's Raw.
Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe. Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk Super Review News. I'm Ollie Davis, and to kick things off, here's the 20th of January 2020 Royal Rumble Go Home WWE You're Drunk episode of Monday Night Raw in about 5 minutes. Hot off the closing angle to last week's Raw, the Monday Night Messiah Seth Rollins welcomed his newest disciple Buddy Murphy to the faction. He should have full-on baptized him in some water aside. Seth then did the most dastardly heel action a wrestler can do. Introduce his own video recap package on the Titantron. In what kayfabe world does Seth being an edit producer make sense? Ultra Unit Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe and the Viking don't mention the war experience. Raiders interrupted. Caruso alert. Setting up a tag title match later on, not with, actual tag team AOP, but the just formed partnership of Seth and Murphy. Rey Mysterio took on Andrade in a ladder match for the US title next, and it was just as awesome as all those individual words would suggest. Power bombs through ladders, hammerlock DDTs through ladders, whatever Zelina Vega was wearing on a ladder. Andrade retained thanks to Vega's interference in his and Mysterio's latest Raw stealing match. The heels weren't done there though, as Andrade went to DDT Rey onto the exposed concrete outside before a mysterious Lucha Man made the save. No, not Mysterio Jr. Dominic, not even WrestleTalk's own El Fagador, but someone far less over, Humberto Carrillo. Humberto later challenged Andrade for the US title at the Royal Rumble, which he'll likely lose again. WWE ran a video package for their next debuting wrestler, Martin Luther King. Aleister Black squashed an enhancement talent in a really effective squash match. Paul Heyman cosplayed as Ron Burgundy to explain the Royal Rumble rules with Brock Lesnar beating everyone up. But don't worry, Ricochet can save us. He's a real-life superhero, you know. And just like how Marvel built up Captain America and Thor and Black Panther, WWE booked Ricochet to stand up to Lesnar, say he isn't scared of him, then get kicked in the dick and left laying like a jabroni. Look at Drew's sexy body. He's got hair on his chest. His hair is so wet. And he also put on my favorite match of the night. Yes, even more than Andrade versus Rey. McIntyre versus Randy Orton was a wonderfully worked story of big guy one-upmanship that left a proper finish for another day when the OC attacked for the Drew Q. Like a Drew DQ. I'll work on that one. Orton and McIntyre chased them off, seemingly as friends, but then Randy hit an RKO to effectively get over them clashing in the Rumble. In a really nice Heyman touch, randomly halfway through the match, McIntyre just took out some poor guy at ringside with a claymore that never played into anything, as a bit of light chaos to make the show feel unpredictable, just like the Lashley-Lana Priest being tackled last week. As great as a lot of Heyman's ideas are though, it's Hey Man, not Hey Woman. Thanks for your support on Patreon, Luke's favourite fan, the one, the only, the awesome Bubba. Caruso alert. There are actually women on this show. Charlotte said she's going to win the Women's Royal Rumble, which has been very poorly built this year, and then Becky Lynch made Kairi Sane tap in a disarmer to build her title match against Asuka. It's great to see Sane back from concussion, and Asuka sitting on the ring post heckling through the entire match with some great character work. But their feud has been undermined by Lynch's character doubting herself. WWE played a typically lovely video tribute to the recently passed Rocky Johnson. With 35 minutes left of the show, I incorrectly assumed Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy versus the Viking Raiders was our main event, especially when AOP and Ultra Unit started brawling at ringside. This ain't my first Royal Rumble go-home rodeo, and I smell the entire locker room trying to throw each other over the top rope for the pay-per-view selling cliffhanger visual. Instead, we got a really good 10-minute match where Ultra Unit and AOP cancelled each other out, and Seth and Buddy worked together very well to beat the Viking Raiders and become the new Raw Tag Team Champions. It sucks a bit for the Raiders, but their 3-month reign has been completely uneventful, and this could be a very worthwhile sacrifice. Murphy got the pin thanks to Seth's curb stomp, a fantastic detail showing how Buddy has immediately turned his fortunes around upon joining the Monday Night Messiah, getting the win, but directly because of Rollins' help. It really justifies Seth's leadership and makes sense why people are starting to follow him. The Street Profits brought back their SNL Weekend Trend Update parody segment to hype the Rumble, and it was actually quite funny in parts. Too funny for the editor though, as the canned laughter was very obnoxious. Early noughties Matt Hardy came to the ring to be squashed by Rowan and his mystery cage. Squashed so hard, Matt Hardy pretty much said he's going to leave WWE on Twitter. More on that in a bit. Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe confirmed they're going to be in the Rumble match, bringing the total amount of Raw entrants to 14. So much for an equal 10 for Raw, SmackDown and NXT. Caruso alert. Mojo Rawley swatted off a 24/7 title attempt from the Singh Bros, and then in a show with a very noteworthy tag title change and a ladder match between Andrade and Rey Mysterio, of course the Bobby Lashley and Lana versus Rusev and Liv Morgan mixed tag got to main event the show. After the crowd gave up during Lana's promo, the actual match barely went 5 minutes and ended with a third straight loss for Rusev in this feud, meaning Liv Morgan was also defeated in her first match back, burying this act from the get-go. Hot take! This storyline is dead, and whatever interest was there from the wedding angle is just superficial clicks. That was this week's Raw in about 5 minutes. Do you think the Rusev and Lana storyline has run its course? Let me know in the comments, because I'll be replying from out of nowhere. And click the eye above my head to let me know what you thought of the show, where you can choose from Rawsome, Core, Average, Poor and Rawful. This was a very good episode of Raw up until the main event, with several great matches and a big title change. Unfortunately, the women are being very poorly booked. This week's Raw is a low core. But that's not the only thing that happened on Raw, as CM Punk was notable by his absence in the show's WWE backstage promos. Hot tag to Laurie.
Oh, well, thank you, Ollie. I mean, he can't hear me, nor does he actually watch these back, so I don't really know why I said that, because he'll never know. Anyway, as that bellend, Ollie, he'll never know, said earlier, Matt Hardy had a less than wonderful showing on Raw last night. He wasn't even allowed to look inside Rowan's cage and see that mangled up parakeet or whatever he's got in there. So Matt Hardy taking the jobber spot that's usually reserved for the likes of local talent or the Singh brothers really sort of riled people up on Twitter, causing Matt's name to soar up the trending tab to 17th in the world. Matt, obviously being tuned into the Twitterverse as well as all the other infinite realms of the multiverse, noticed, and he had this to say. Wow, thanks for all of the love and support from around the world. I'm trending number 17 worldwide because of my WWE slump and string of Raw TV losses. Hope you're enjoying my WWE TV appearances. At this rate, there won't be many more. Now Matt could just be playing around here and simply saying that he's going to stop competing if his win-loss ratio doesn't improve, or at least become a working ratio, because it's hard to have one side with a 0 on it. Mathematical humour. It could also tie into the sort of free the delete videos and the Matt Hardy in limbo stuff that he's been uploading to his YouTube channel, which I think are about getting his sort of broken mojo back. I mean, it doesn't really make any sense at all. Like, not a jot of sense. Absolute bloody madness. But in one of those videos, he does say, I'm going to go Raw until I get my broken brilliance back. And then, lo and behold, turns up on Raw. Which could either be a bit of a storyline thing that he's building himself, hence the old school gear this week, and maybe a sort of little peep in the cage to see the sort of dead owl that's in there now, sort of break his mind and give him his magical powers back. But then on a less kayfabe note, this could also just be related to that speculation that Matt Hardy is getting ready to move on from WWE and regain the broken brilliance at some other company, as WWE didn't really want him using that version of the gimmick for them anyway. And a lot of the rumours have pointed to Matt leaving when his contract comes up in the next couple of months. Now, a jobber spot on Raw might be the way WWE have chosen to say goodbye, with the 2 fingers rather than a little wave. On the other end of the spectrum, not even getting so much as a sort of, hello, welcome back from WWE, is CM Punk. I've said his name now, so this video is going to go viral. Oh, yeah. Now, Punk has had a few weeks off from his analyst duties on WWE Backstage over on FS1, but is set to return to the show this week as confirmed by WWE on Fox's Twitter account. So, many thought it was a little bit odd that the graphic for the show shown during Raw to advertise it made no mention of the best in the world. Because instead it showed Renee Young, Paige and Christian, plus very special guest Becky Lynch. I was going to speculate from this if this suggests some sort of issue between WWE and CM Punk, but of course it does. It's like no Sherlock. But this does feed into some of the stuff we reported on the other week about WWE and Punk's relationship potentially souring after Punk tweeted The Miz to tell him he sucked. Blood money covered Saudi. To be fair, is not really the sort of thing one does if you're having a wonderful working relationship with the company you're talking about. There is also the argument to be made that WWE probably doesn't want to push somebody as the face of a related show who has a history of bad-mouthing their on-screen product and backstage happenings and has done it within the last couple of weeks. It is interesting to note, though, that Fox probably aren't happy with WWE leaving off one of their major talent signings and one of the biggest draws to the show from that show promoting graphic. Can't really wait to see how this one plays out. This is quite interesting. And finally, some news that really isn't all that surprising, because after Kane returned on SmackDown this week to seemingly set up some sort of Saudi showdown with The Fiend, I bet CM Punk loves that, you would naturally also think that Mayor Glenn would be on his way to the Royal Rumble as well, because that thing needs padding, especially if NXT are going to be cut from the match, as was rumoured earlier this week. Well, according to PW Insider, Kane is set for the show on January 26th. Now, whether that is in support of Daniel Bryan in his match with The Fiend, or to take part in the Rumble, or both, remains to be seen. But as far as we know, let's just hope there are no major catastrophes in Knox County, because your mayor is going to be pretending to be a demon on TV. Thanks for watching. If you could do all the usual end of video stuff for us, please, that would be great, like liking, subscribing, and enabling notifications to never miss a video. One worth checking out is that one over there that's about Vince McMahon kicking most of NXT out of the Royal Rumble match. I've been El Fakador, and earlier was a much less important Ollie Davis, and that was Lucha.